Welcome back to lecture 12, Cayley-Hamilton Theorem and similar matrices. In lecture 11, we have already discussed what is characteristic polynomial, characteristic equation, eigenvalues, eigenvectors, and we also solved some problem based on these discussed topics. So today we will study Cayley-Hamilton Theorem and similar matrices. Before starting Cayley-Hamilton Theorem, let's revise what is characteristic polynomial and characteristic equation because it is necessary to know it before Cayley-Hamilton Theorem. Okay, let's start. Let A is a square matrix of order n cross n and consider the homogeneous system Ax equals to lambda x or A minus lambda ix equal to null vector. Here lambda is any scalar, x is called solution vector, A is any square matrix, and lambda I is representing here scalar matrix which diagonal entries are lambda, and order of matrix A is equal to the order of identity matrix. Then it is a homogeneous system. If we take matrix A minus lambda I, matrix A minus lambda I can be given as, if we write the matrix A11, A12, A1n, A21, A22, A2n, and so on, AN1, AN2, and ANn. Minus lambda I matrix will be given as lambda 0, 0, 0, 0, lambda 0, and so on. Last entry will be lambda. If we subtract lambda I matrix from matrix A, we will get A minus lambda I matrix is equal to A11 minus lambda, A12, and so on, A1n, A21, A22 minus lambda, and so on, A2n, and last row will be AN1, AN2, ANn minus lambda. If we take the determinant of this matrix, because it is again a square matrix, so we can determinant. So determinant of A minus lambda I will be in the form of A0 plus A1 lambda plus so on, AN lambda to the power n. If you expand this matrix with the help of determinant properties, and then you will get the determinant is a nth degree polynomial. This polynomial is called characteristic polynomial. And if we take the equation form of this determinant, if determinant is equal to 0, then it becomes equation A0 plus A1 lambda plus AN lambda to the power n equal to 0. This equation is called characteristic equation, and its roots are called characteristic roots or eigenvalues. This thing I have already discussed in lecture 11. You can revise from that lecture also. Now, some important results we can discuss from here. First remark is, I have already told you, if A is any matrix, A11, A1n, A21, A22, A12 is given here, A2n, and last row is AN1, AN2, and ANn. Then I told you this is a matrix A. The trace of matrix A is given as sigma AII for I1 to n, if this matrix of order n cross n. If you expand sigma, you will get A11 plus A2 plus ANN. So it is nothing else. It's a sum of sum of the entries of main diagonal. And if matrix A has characteristic roots lambda 1, lambda 2, and lambda n, then I told you two important results in lecture 11 already. First result is sum of eigenvalues is equal to the trace of matrix A, and the product of the eigenvalues is equal to the determinant of matrix A. Here we can make a result if determinant A is equal to 0, means matrix is singular, then lambda 1 into lambda 2 into lambda n equal to 0. It means at least one lambda I will be 0. Lambda 1 will be 0, or lambda 2 will be 0, or lambda n will be 0, or 2 can be 0, or all n can be 0 here. Means at least one lambda I will be 0. Conversely also, if any eigenvalue is 0 for any I, 1 to n, then determinant is singular. So what is the conclusion? What is the conclusion here? If 0 is the eigenvalue of a matrix, then the matrix is singular, and conversely also. Second remark is, if A and B are two n cross n square matrices, and AB invertible matrix. AB invertible matrix means A inverse exists, then matrix A inverse B and BA inverse have the same eigenvalues or characteristic equation. Third remark is, if A and B are two invertible matrices, then AB and BA have the same characteristic equation or eigenvalues. In that case, AB and BA both have same characteristic equation. So these are some important remarks based on characteristic equations. Now, what is Cayley-Hamilton theorem? Very important theorem. Statement is, every square matrix satisfies its own characteristic equation satisfy its own characteristic equation. What is the meaning of this statement? Let A matrix is Aij of order n cross n, it means it is a square matrix, then its characteristic equation is given as determinant of A minus lambda I equal to 0 or A11 minus lambda A12 A1n A21 A22 minus lambda A2n so on an1 an2 ann minus lambda equal to 0. If you expand it, you will get a nth degree equation here in the variable lambda. Now this is your characteristic equation in lambda, and the roots of this equation is called characteristic roots. And now use the statement of Cayley-Hamilton theorem. What is the statement? Every square matrix satisfies its own characteristic equation. It means this matrix A will satisfy this characteristic equation 1. So A will satisfy equation 1. Then it will be A naught plus, I am giving some space, why I will do later, A2 square plus an a to the power n equal to 0 matrix. Now see this is a matrix, this is again a matrix, this is again a matrix, but this is a constant value, so we cannot add any constant with the matrix, so we will make this scalar or constant a scalar matrix. So for making its scalar matrix, we will multiply with identity matrix of same order as A has. So A has order n cross n, it means identity matrix is also of order n cross n. So this is the statement of Cayley-Hamilton theorem. Every square matrix satisfies its own characteristic equation. One remark I am telling you, if you see, this is a nth degree equation, an lambda to the power n plus a1 lambda to the power n minus 1 plus a naught equal to 0. If you remind class 9th, you know that if a equation is ax square plus bx plus c equal to 0 and its roots are alpha and beta, then alpha plus beta is minus b upon a and alpha into beta equal to c upon a. And in class 11, you have studied theory of equation. This quadratic equation can be generalized in nth degree equation. Then the sum of the roots, if the roots are lambda 1 and lambda 2 and lambda n, that's we called eigenvalues. Sum of the roots will be minus a1 upon an, and the product of the roots will be a naught upon an. And obviously an is not going to be 0 here, because we will get always nth degree polynomial, nth degree equation here. So for nth degree, an will not be vanished. Now, interesting point is, if what will happen if a naught is 0? If a naught is 0, it means product of the eigenvalues is 0. It means determinant is 0. It means matrix is singular. So this is very important point. If there is no constant term involved in the characteristic equation, it will give you information that the given matrix is not invertible. If there is no constant term involved in the characteristic equation of given matrix, then the matrix will be singular matrix. Now we have one example. If matrix A is given as, verify Cayley-Hamilton theorem, find A inverse using Cayley-Hamilton theorem and express this in the linear polynomial of A. So how we will verify Cayley-Hamilton theorem? For the verification of Cayley-Hamilton theorem, firstly we need the characteristic equation of matrix A. So the characteristic equation of A is given as determinant of A minus lambda I equal to 0. So it will be 1 minus lambda 2 minus 1 3 minus lambda equal to 0. Now if you expand this, you will get 1 minus lambda 3 minus lambda plus 2 equal to 0. If you more simplify it, you will get lambda square minus 4 lambda plus 5 equal to 0. This is called characteristic equation. Now use statement, use Cayley-Hamilton theorem, CS theorem. What is CS theorem? Every square matrix, it means matrix A will satisfy this characteristic equation. So it will be A square minus 4A plus 5 identity equal to 0, and identity matrix will be of order 2 plus 2. Then only we can add or subtract any matrix if every term is a matrix. Now how to verify? Verification. LHS is A square minus 4A plus 5I. A square will be given as A into A. It will be 1 2 minus 1 3, 1 2 minus 1 3. If you multiply these two matrices, you will get minus 1, 8, minus 4 and 7. Now put A square in the LHS term, then LHS will be A square and minus 1 8 minus 4 7 minus 4A 1 2 minus 1 3 plus 5 identity and 1 0 0 1. If you simplify it, you will get 0 0 0 R0 matrix, that is equal to the RHS. It means we have verified Cayley-Hamilton theorem here. Now how to find A inverse? For finding A inverse, we will use pre-multiplication of A inverse both the side. Now we have characteristic equation A characteristic equation lambda square minus 4 lambda plus 5 equal to 0, and Cayley-Hamilton theorem statement is Cayley-Hamilton statement is A square minus 4A plus 5I equal to 0. It means we want C inverse with the help of Cayley-Hamilton theorem. So multiply A inverse both the sides. Will A inverse exist? Yes, because there is a constant term. This is non-zero, it means A inverse will exist. If this is 0, then determinant is 0 and A inverse will not exist. But here constant term 5 is existing, it means matrix will be invertible. If there is no constant term in the characteristic equation, then A inverse will not exist. So it will give you multiply both the side A inverse into null matrix. It will give you A minus 4 A inverse into A identity matrix plus 5A inverse equal to 0. Now 5A inverse equal to 4 times identity matrix minus A, or 5A inverse is equal to 4I, it means 4 0 0 4 minus A 1 2 minus 1 3. So 5A inverse is equal to 3 minus 2 1 1 or A inverse will be 1 upon 5, 3 minus 2, 1, 1. This is your inverse with the help of Cayley-Hamilton theorem. Now the last part is to express a to the power 6 minus 4 to the power 5 plus a to the power 4 minus 12a cube plus 14a square in the linear polynomial. What we have? We have a square minus 4a plus 5y equal to 0. And this is a key point here. We will use it for simplification of given expression. The given expression is a to the power 6 minus 4a to the power 5 plus 8a to the power 4 minus 12a cube plus 14a square. Now I am giving you little bit trick. There are two methods. First method, you can divide this expression by this term and you will get reduced form. But that's a little bit lengthy process. We have a smart and short method. But what is that method? You see the first term, a to the power 6. Here a square. What is the difference of power? It's a 4. So take a to the power 4 outside and keep this term as it is in this box. Then a square minus 4a plus 5a. Keep as it is. Now try to adjust this. A to the power 6, it means first term is adjust. Next term is minus 4a to the power 5, it is also adjust. Plus 5a to the power 4, but we have plus 8. So for adjusting, we have already 5 and we want to make it 8. It means we have to add 3a to the power 4. Now these first three terms are adjusted here. Rest term we can write as it is, minus 12a cube plus 14a square. Now this term is going to be 0 because this is using Cayley-Hamilton theorem. So left is 3a to the power 4 minus 12a cube plus 14a square. Now take common again, see the first term, 3a to the power 4, here a square, 3 is outside, a to the power 4 and a square. What is the difference of power? Difference of power is 2, we can take 3a square outside. Again make a square minus 4a plus 5. Keep same term inside this box. Balance, 3a to the power 4, first term is adjusted, minus 12a cube, it is also adjusted, plus 15a square, but it has only 14 plus. And we have already used 15. It means we have to give 1 minus a square. Now this is again 0. So ultimately it become minus a square, and minus a square can be obtained from this equation. Minus a square will be equal to 5y minus 4a, because we want a linear polynomial means 1 degree in a only. So this will be our simplification of this expression. Now we have a next question. If matrix A is given as 1 0 0 1 0 1 0 1 0, prove that a to the power n equal to a to the power n minus 2 plus a square minus I. N is greater than equal to 2n. This is a very famous question of Professor Jan and Anger, Advanced Engineering Mathematics. I am going to solve this. Characteristic equation of matrix A is given as A minus lambda I determinant equal to 0. It means 1 minus lambda 0 0 1 0 minus lambda 1 0 1 0 minus lambda equal to 0. If you expand with respect to R1, you will get 1 minus lambda square minus 1 equal to 0. If you multiply and take minus sign common, then it will be lambda cube minus lambda square minus lambda plus 1 equal to 0. Now, lambda cube minus lambda square minus lambda plus 1 equal to 0. Use Cayley-Hamilton theorem. every square matrix satisfies on characteristic equation, means matrix A will satisfy this equation. So A cube minus A square minus A plus identity equal to 0, plus identity equal to 0. We can see that it is like A cube minus A square equal to A minus I. If we take A square common, look like A minus I is a factor. But we want to make power in a order 3, 2, 1, 0. A to the power 0 means identity matrix. Now we want to go up to n power. So multiply A both the side, you will get A to the power 4 minus A cube equal to A square minus A. If you multiply A again, you will get A to the power 5 minus A to the power 4 equal to A cube minus A square. If you proceed for n minus 1th power, it will be A power n minus 1, A power reduce, A to the power n minus 2, reduce one more power, A to the power n minus 3, A to the power n minus 4. How you are getting it? You can see 3, 2, 1, 0, 4, 3, 2, 1, 5, 4, 3, 2. It means it is a difference of 1 power in each term. Now what will be nth power? A to the power n, A to the power n minus 1, A to the power n minus 2, minus A to the power n minus 3. If you add all these terms, you can see that in the right hand side, A cube is cancelled, A to the power 4 is cancelled, A to the power 5, all term is cancelled out last, and it's minus A square is kept safe. In the left hand side, you can see minus A square, A cube, all terms are cancelled last, and minus I is kept safe only. So you can write A to the power n minus A square equal to A to the power n minus 2 minus identity, or A to the power n equal to A to the power n minus 2 plus A square minus I. This is the required proof for this question. Now I am giving you some homework. First example is find the characteristic roots of matrix A equal to 4, 3, 1, 2, 1 minus 2, 1, 2, 1. Hence, find A inverse using Cayley-Hamilton theorem. Second is find the characteristic equation of matrix A is equal to 2, 1, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1, 1, 2. Verify Cayley-Hamilton theorem and hence evaluate A to the power 8 minus 5A to the power 7 plus 7A to the power 6 minus 3A to the power 5 plus A to the power 4 minus 5A cube plus 8A square minus 2A plus I. You can take help of previous example. I have discussed similar problem for 2 cross 2 matrix. Now I am going to study what is similar matrix. Similar matrices. A very important topic for competitive exams. Let A and B be square matrices of the same order, the matrix A is said to be similar to the matrix B if there exists an invertible matrix P such that A is equal to P inverse BP. This P matrix is called similarity matrix. Similarity matrix, and it is always invertible matrix. Or PA equal to BP, or PA P inverse equal to B. You can pre or post multiply with the P inverse. You can obtain these all three results here. Therefore, A is similar to B if and only if B is similar to A. This is definition for B is similar to A, and this is similar, A is similar to B. It means A is similar to B if and only B is similar to A. Means the result is both side true. Conversely also true. A is similar to B, then B is also similar to A. But important task, how to find that invertible matrix P. We have some important results based on this similar matrices. First result is similar matrices have the same characteristic equation and hence same eigenvalues. If two matrices are similar, then their characteristic equation will be same. Second result is if E is an eigenvector, call it as capital E. Capital E is an eigenvector of A corresponding to any eigenvalue corresponding to the eigenvalue lambda, then P inverse E is an eigenvector of matrix B corresponding to lambda. This result is true when we are supposing A is equal to P inverse BP or PA equal to BP. This is very important result related to eigenvalues and eigenvectors. But converse of result 1 is not true. What is the meaning of converse of 1? If we check the converse is not true of result 1. Means if eigenvalues is same, then the matrices are similar, we cannot claim. This is very important result. What is that result? Two matrices have the same characteristic equation need not always be similar. But similar matrices always have same characteristic equation. But converse is not true. One more result I want to discuss here. Result 3 is if lambda is an eigenvalue of algebraic multiplicity, I have discussed in lecture 11. M is the multiplicity of eigenvalue lambda. It means lambda is repeating m times there. How many times? M times. Of a square matrix, capital A, of order n cross n, then the number of linear independent eigenvectors associated with lambda is given by P. If we suppose the number is P, n minus R, where R is equal to rank of matrix A minus lambda I, or rank of A minus lambda I. This is the notation for rank. And P is the number of Li eigenvectors. And P will always lie between 1 to M. Always lie between 1 to M. Next is diagonalization. It is very similar to similar matrix definition. What is diagonalization? A matrix A is said to be diagonalizable if it is similar to a diagonal matrix. Or let A be a matrix of order n, and if there exists n linear independent eigenvectors, then we can find an invertible matrix P, that is called similarity matrix. Invertible matrix P, similarity matrix, such that A is equal to PDP inverse, or P inverse AP equal to D, or AP equal to PD. So this is the definition for diagonalizable matrix. When we can find matrix P of order n cross n, also if matrix A is of order n cross n, then matrix A is diagonalizable matrix. Then matrix A is diagonalizable. It means it is similar to a diagonal matrix. Then now the problem is how to find diagonal matrix D and matrix P. Let's. What is the process to find it? Let's see. I told you here AP equal to PD. You always remind this, AP equal to PD. Then post multiply with P inverse both the side. you will get AP A equal to PDP inverse. PDP inverse. If you multiply here, we are discuss here some remark. A square, then A square will be A into A. Then it will be PDP inverse into PDP inverse. P into P inverse, use associativity. P inverse P into DP inverse. It will be identity matrix, and D into D will be D square into P inverse. No need to write identity matrix if some matrix is already in the multiplication. So it means A square is given as PD square P inverse here. Now what will be the A to the power M here? It will be PD to the power M P inverse. PD to the power M P inverse. If you apply any function on this matrix A, suppose any function FA, then it will be P into F of D into P inverse. Same function will operate on the similar matrix T. How to define D? I have already told you how to write the diagonal matrix. Suppose this is your diagonal matrix D1, 0, 0, D2, 0, 0, 0, Dn of order n cross n. Then I have discussed the properties of diagonal matrix in lecture 1. You can see the lecture 1. We can apply any function on the diagonal matrix, then the same function will be operated on the diagonal entries. 0 f of d2 into 0, 0, 0 f of dn of order n cross n. This will be the FD here. How to write diagonal matrix and P matrix? Let's see that. Suppose you have characteristic equation is A minus lambda equal to 0, and the eigenvalues are lambda 1, lambda 2 and lambda n. Corresponding to lambda 1 you are getting E1 eigenvector, it is E2 eigenvector and it is En eigenvector. Then if you write diagonal matrix, you have many ways to write diagonal matrix here, because the eigenvalues are not in any order. You can put lambda 2, lambda 1, lambda n. Then if you make any order for D. Suppose I am claiming here lambda 2 first. 0, 0. 0, lambda 1 here. 0 and 0, 0, lambda n. Then what will be the unique representation for P matrix? See, first column or first row. Lambda 2 is in the first column. Then put E2 in the first column, means corresponding eigenvector in the first column. Then second column is corresponding to lambda 1, then E1 will be made by the second eigenvector E1. And the last will be En here. It is an n cross n matrix because E2, En are already of n cross 1 and n eigenvectors, each one of n cross 1, then the matrix will be n cross n here. I will discuss in the example portion. So I am writing here some important results also. First result is A square matrix A of order n cross n is diagonalizable if and only if it has n linear independent eigenvectors. So it depends on the number of eigenvectors, not number of the eigenvalues. Second result is if there does not exist n Li eigenvectors, then matrix A of order n cross n is not diagonalizable. And the third very interesting result, if matrix A of order n cross n has all distinct eigenvalues, that number will be always n, because n degree n cross n matrix, it means nth degree characteristic equation, and all the eigenvalues are distinct. It means we will get n distinct eigenvalues here. Then matrix A will be diagonalizable. How I am claiming here? Let's revise the lecture 11. Corresponding to each distinct eigenvalue, we will get one Li eigenvector. So for n eigenvalues, we will get n linearly independent eigenvectors. It means we will get similar matrix P. Therefore, matrix A will be diagonalizable. But if the eigenvalues are not distinct, we cannot make any comment on the diagonalizable. Matrix can be diagonalizable also or not be diagonalizable in the case of repeated eigenvalues. In that case, diagonalization is depend on the number of linearly independent eigenvectors. So I'm writing here also for in case of repeated eigenvalues, we cannot make any comment. We have to use remark 1. This remark 1 we have to use. Let's take an example. Examine whether following matrix A is diagonalizable or not. If so, obtain matrix P such that P inverse F is diagonalizable. And matrix A is, I'm giving here, matrix A is 1, 2, 2. The same matrices I have discussed in the lecture 11 for eigenvalue and eigenvector. So you can use the calculations of these matrices from lecture 11. 0 to 1, minus 1 to 2. First example is this. Now what is the characteristic equation? Characteristic equation is A minus lambda I determinant equal to 0. Then it will be 1 minus lambda 2 to 0, 2 minus lambda 1, minus 1 2, 2 minus lambda equal to 0. You can simplify it and you can find the eigenvalues. Eigenvalues are 1, 2, 2. You can see that the eigenvalues are repeated. You cannot claim that matrix is not diagonalizable or matrix is diagonalizable. In the case of repeated, we are totally dependent on the number of linearly independent eigenvectors. Here we cannot make any comment on the diagonalization. So firstly we will find the eigenvectors. Here we will use some smartness. We know that corresponding to lambda equal to 1, we will get always one eigenvector. We will get always one linearly independent eigenvector. Now our aim to find the eigenvector corresponding to 2. If corresponding to 2, we will get 2 Li eigenvectors, then the total number of eigenvector will be 3. Corresponding to 2, we will get 2 eigenvectors, and corresponding to 1, we will get 1. So there will be 3 eigenvectors, which is equal to the order of matrix, because the order of matrix is 3 cross 3. If we get only one eigenvector corresponding to eigenvalues 2, then the matrix will not be diagonalizable, because the number of linearly independent eigenvectors will not be equal to 3. Using remark 2, we can claim that matrix is not diagonalizable. So let's see corresponding to lambda equal to 2. For lambda equal to 2, eigenvector for lambda equal to 2. We know that eigenvector process is Ax equal to lambda x. Now put lambda equal to 2. It will be Ax equal to 2x or A minus 2I x equal to 0. A minus 2I matrix will look like now minus 1, 2, 2, 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, 1, minus 1, 2, 0, and I am claiming x is at x1, x2, x3, and 0 is 0, 0, 3 cross 1, 0 vector. Now we can use augmented matrix concept, or you can directly use here, make the matrix A in the row echelon form. For making row echelon form, we have to make this entry 0, this is already 0, make this entry 0. So for this, R3 is replaced by R3 minus R1. It will be minus 1, 2, 2, 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, minus 2, x1, x2, x3 equal to 0, 0, 0. Here already 0, so no need to use the operation in the right side because all entries are 0 here. Now this entry and this entry in the same A33, if we take as A33, and this entry is also leading variable for third unknown x3, and this is also not a leading entry for x3, so we will make also 0 it. So for making it a 0, we will use this entry 1, R3 is replaced by R3 plus 2 R2. This is not in the, these two rows are not linearly independent, these are linearly dependent rows. So for finding the rank, we have to make linearly independent rows. It will be minus 1, 2, 2, 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, 0, x1, x2, x3, 0, 0, 0. Now you can see that this is in the row echelon form, and the 0 row is in the bottom, and rest rows are linearly independent. So if you see the rank of A is 2, then the number of Li eigenvectors, I have told you in the lecture 11 and today also, it is n minus rank of A. So it is 3 minus 2 is equal to 1. It means we are getting only one linearly independent eigenvector. And we all know that for lambda equal to 1, we will get one Li eigenvector also. So total eigenvector are 1 plus 1. Total Li eigenvectors equal to 2, which is not equal to the 3 but order of matrix. So this matrix A is not diagonalizable, not diagonalizable, not diagonalizable. Let's see the next example. Example 2 is matrix A is given at minus 2, 2 minus 3. I have already discussed this matrix in the lecture 11. 2, 1 minus 6, minus 1 minus 2, 0. Write the characteristic equation. So A minus lambda I determinant equal to 0. Then this will be equal to minus 2 minus lambda 2 minus 3, 2, 1 minus lambda minus 6, minus 1 minus 2, 0 minus lambda equal to 0. You can simplify it, you will get the characteristic equation is lambda cube plus lambda square minus 21 lambda minus 45 equal to 0. And using calculator, which is allowed, it is 5 minus 3 minus 3. Again, eigenvalues are repeated. If all the eigenvalues are distinct, we can make a comment that the matrix is diagonalizable. But eigenvalues are repeated, then we cannot make any comment. We have to go for number of Li eigenvectors. Now we are sure that we will get one eigenvector corresponding to 5. We have to check only corresponding to minus 3. If we will get minus corresponding to minus 3, there are 2 Li eigenvectors, then total number of Li eigenvectors will be 3 and matrix will be diagonalizable. So for lambda equal to minus 3, we know that the process for finding eigenvector is Ax equal to lambda x. then it will be Ax equal to minus 3x, A plus 3 identity matrix x equal to 0. Write A plus 3I matrix. It will be 1, 2, minus 3, 2, 4, minus 6, minus 1, minus 2, 3. Write X matrix as x1, x2, x3, and it is a 0, 0, 0. For making row echelon form, R2 is replaced by R2 minus 2R1, R3 is replaced by R3 plus R. So it will be 1, 2, minus 3, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, x1, x2, x3, 0, 0, 0. What is the rank of A? Here 1. So number of Li eigenvectors will be 3 minus 1 and 2. We are getting here 2 eigenvectors. And what are that eigenvectors? Let's find the eigenvector. We will go from back substitution. It will be x1 plus 2x2 minus 3x3 equal to 0. Or we can see that the first column is leading, second column is not leading, it's a free, third column is also not leading. First row is leading, but second row and third row is not leading. Or the coefficient of x1 is non-zero, but the coefficient for x2, which is a22, and the coefficient of x3, which is a33, is 0 here. It means these variables are free here. So x2 is free or arbitrary, call it as k1, and x3 call it as k2. Both are free or arbitrary here. So x1 will be 3k2 minus 2k1. I have already find these eigenvectors in lecture 11. You can see that. Then x1, x2, x3 is given as, then x1, x2, x3 is given as 3k2 minus 2k1, k1, k2. Or if you take the k1 outside, it will be minus 2, 1, 0, plus k2 if you take outside, 3, 0, 1. And let it is as E1 eigenvector and let it is as E2 eigenvector. Then I'm claiming E1 as, but this is not unique. Always remind this word. It depends on the value of K1, K2. I'm taking 1, 1 here. You can take any value, but if you take any other value, then your eigenvector and my eigenvector will be linearly dependent. So that is meaningless because we are interested in only linearly independent eigenvector. So for any scalar, you will get only one Li eigenvector here corresponding to any value of K1. Similar for K2 also. There are 2 Li eigenvectors due to 2 arbitrary variables here. Now, for lambda equal to 5, we can find another eigenvalue, lambda equal to 5. It will be Ax equal to 5x. So A minus 5x equal to 0. You can go to my lecture 11 and you can see that I have already find this eigenvector. Call it as E3 equal to some minus k times 1, 1, 1, 2 minus 1. You can see I have already discussed this eigenvector. 1, 2 minus 1 is the third eigenvector here. So what will be the matrix? P and diagonal matrix. Now see, the writing of D matrix is totally dependent on P and D. Both are depending on each other. It depends how you write the diagonal matrix. Let's write diagonal matrix 5 in the first column, then 5, 0, 0. Then you have to write E3 first. Then if you write 0, minus 3, 0, 0, 0, minus 3, then you are free because the eigenvalues are repeated. You can put here E1 or E2 or E2 or E1. E2 or E1. Then there is no any change. So what will be the P matrix? 1, 2, minus 1. E3 is 1, 2, minus 1. And E1 is minus 2, 1, 0. And E2 is 3, 0, 1. So this is your P matrix, that is called similarity matrix. This is your diagonal matrix. Now how to verify diagonalization? There is no any issue here. You just verify AP equal to PD. You can verify AP equal to PD. Take LHS, multiply A and P, and take the RHS, multiply P into D. Both the multiplication value will be same. This is called process of diagonalization. Okay, thank you. In the next lecture, we will discuss some previous year question based on diagonalization, Cayley-Hamilton theorem, and similar matrices. Okay, thank you.